Today I want to show you the passive flow splitter. This is the version without a battery. It comes with 1 meter lead lengths with a single input to go to the flow meter via a flow sensor usually, and having 2 outputs a meter long. Now here's one that I cut down to make a bit shorter just for the demonstration purposes. You can see that when the cable is bared back, the input has a black, common or ground wire, it has a white wire and a red wire. We generally call the red wire flow input 1 and the white wire flow input 2, but actually they're not particularly numbered. They're just 2 separate flow channels, and these come out of the splitter on 2 separate cables, again with a black wire which is common and ground, the red flow and the white flow, and the same on the other output, ground, flow on the white and flow on the red. The 2 reds are the same channel of flow as the red on the input, and the white again outputs are the same as the one on the input, so it just shares that either one of those flows to those 2 separate output cables. The black wire is electrically connected to all the other black wires, but the red and white wires have some isolation. This particular unit is useful for using with data loggers, but not building management systems. The higher voltage sometimes causes a problem, so that's when you would use the electronic splitter. So I'm going to demonstrate how to test this unit using a pulse test unit. Thank you. So now I've got the pulse test unit switched on, and so that you can see the display. If I take one of the outputs, I'll use the black and red. I just connect those into the input of the pulse test unit. So black to black, red to red. I could have used the white wire there, black and white, but I've used the red. Just making sure that that's in properly. Level it up a little bit. So now that I've got it connected, one of the things that I can do is I can actually just get hold of the black and red wires there, and if I just touch them together, keep touching them intermittently, you can see that the pulse test unit thinks it can see a flow, and that is one way of simulating a flow into the splitter. And we've actually just proved that one leg out of the splitter is working. If I want to do that with the other leg, I just take that out, swap it over, or I could even swap it to the white wire. What I'll do is I'll swap it to the white wire on this occasion, so that would be the other flow channel. And then coming back, obviously this time if I touch the black and red, we shouldn't see a flow, which we don't. But if I touch the black and white, we should start to see the flow. So that's mimicking a pulse output from a flow sensor going into the splitter that is splitting the flow off. Now what we can do is we can actually connect this, because the pulse test unit actually puts a pulse output on these 2 connectors. I could actually pop the black wire into there and the white wire into there, and now you can see that it's putting a pulse out which is going into the splitter, through the splitter and out on the black and white wire. And that is one way of testing the passive splitter using a pulse test unit, or 2 ways even, one by touching the wires together, and the second method by actually using the pulsed output from the pulse test unit. If I disconnect the input to the splitter, you can see that it's now ceased to indicate a flow. But actually, if I get hold of the black and white wires and take my hands out of the way of the screen and do that, that's it, mimicking a flow. Of course, if you had a flow meter, you would actually, and the flow sensor was connected, you could actually just put the output of the pulse splitter into the pulse test unit. And that's how to test a passive flow splitter.